first session in progress, we'll be learning before we start to put our hands in the camera to play with the button. We're going to train our eyes to see the light because photography is to capturing the light. And it's a single moment in time. So when you think about in frames, right? There's a one single frame at a time. And I want you to, here's what I'm expecting from you. You're not just gonna click in the shutters to press. I want you to be like, think about you're an artist. You're not just a technician to take a photo, but you're an artist. You wanted to take a picture, film it. That's your ultimate goal. You're gonna look at your frame. It's every single frame. It's beautiful. It's visually pleasing. No matter it's a crime scene or it's a crazy, what like or beautiful setup, but it should be visually beautiful. Okay.
Yes.
So God speaks through visual before the photography film even exists. So I really wanted to share this verse with you that why I say God speaks through visual. Even in the beginning of our time, we look at the Bible, how Abraham, God spoke the vision to him. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. So this is one of the clearest passages is when God calls Abraham to leave his home and step into future, the promises. And it's very powerful that he is not only just verbally saying it, but he shows a vision to Abraham. Where did he brought him? To the mountains and to see the stars. So this is before Abraham to see the full path of his life. And the next thing God says, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, east, the west. And all the lands that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. So God invites Abraham to see future before possessing it, before he actually owns it. So photography, film, visual, it's prophetic. It's where you can connect with people that the stuff they might not even have seen before. But visual will help you people to understand. So it's a Genesis 13:14 and chapter 13 and verses 14 to 15. And God spoke to Abraham through visual. And many centuries, I mean, throughout the history, we can see how all the artists, they start to capturing the light in the way they can. Why light is so important? Because where the light is, that gives more life. It breathes into whatever you see more lively, and it just bring the colors into life, right? So we can, when there's a light, we can see colors. And it's very interesting that how people, the artist is the one that trying to capturing the light. So let's take a look, the very famous painting from Van Gogh. Before the photography even exists, painters trying to capturing the light, draw the light onto a canvas. And that was the medium, the tools to help people to engage, to see something it almost looks like unseen before, to share the feeling, to give the mood, to communicate. That was the medium that the artist was using before the photography is existing. And then the century later, so when Van Gogh creating this image, people would think he's crazy, and later people would say, oh, that's like his technique. But the very interesting thing is artists are very prophetic, and God oftentimes reveal something that the world has not seen yet, but through artists. But people think it's like, you crazy. The sky, when I look, it does not look like that. But a center later, through long exposure photography, they actually capture, allowing the technology, allowing it to capture is the track of a movement of so the star is not still, so the light is actually moving, but through the technology, through photography, it got proved Van Gogh's vision was true. This is a long exposure technique. So we discovered the light, right? The light is moved in the arc of the light. So what once it looked like madness was actually a vision. And this is prophetic power of art. So it sees beyond the surface and it shows us what could be. And it's same thing with the film, with the photography that you're going to do. So, and when you look at the film, it evolves when people discovered that many photographs played quickly in sequence could create the illusion of movement. Okay, an illusion of the movement. So bring stories to life through motion, sound, and emotion. So we're going to focus, now it's not going to be a sequence of a frame, but eventually we will get there. Because when we started doing the video, the movement it shows seems so quick. But this time we're going to focus on every single frame that you're going to look into. You're gonna start to see light. You're gonna start to see things very different, because when that is well done, it will help you eventually to move that continuously. The movement of your frame, you can be very thoughtful how you want to plan out your visual, the mood, the light you're going to set up. Okay, first type of the light. I know in the video production that 2 days ago, you guys already learned natural light, right? So then in natural lighting, we have window light. So in another technique term, it's called key light. So right now, when Jeff and I, we're gonna repeating this kind of language, because soon you're gonna pick up this language, you're gonna use it, you're gonna communicate with it. So natural light, in the natural light setting, very straightforward. You have window light, right? So the window light normally provides a good amount of lighting. Right now you see me, I standing closer and it's brighter, right? I standing further, it goes weaker and weaker. This is our natural window light. And so the language we're gonna use is a key light, mean the main source of lighting. Okay, the main source of lighting is coming in. Okay, so for this shot, it's just window light, and you see how much amount of light the window light is going to provide through the size of the frame, right? Opening the space through yeah, it's going to coming into the window. Okay, another example, window light. Okay, and so in this one is a high key lighting. What is high key lighting meaning? Is brighter, somewhere in the higher, in the brighter spectrum. The high key, when people using the language high key, it's very bright. You know, you have the dark tone, you have the brighter. So high key usually meaning is everything is wider, brighter in the.
Sorry,
Mhm.
but you can write brighter word, please.
Brighter.
Yeah.
Brighter. So you will hear people will say like brighter tone or darker tone.
Okay, like sunny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As I wanted you to start to expose the language that people, you know, like in the industry or in the creative industry that people are using, so you understand what is this mean? Okay, so this is a focus light, right? It's very contrast lighting. You have just a beam of light focus on your subject. By the way, all of this for this part is all natural light I'm showing you. So one really focused light from one direction, and the rest is very dark. So it creating this contrast lighting. And right now, because you guys started school, I know some of you might have experience. So something I learned throughout the years as a student, when I start, actually my first year in my college, we learning about film and we have to watch 100 films in a very short amount of time, like day and night watching films. I think you got to train your eyes, start to see things, you know. So that's why I'm showing you a lot of different pictures. So you're gonna start to train your eyes to be more sensitive, and one day you will start to picking up things you normally don't see before. Another sample, this is also window light, but it's from a door. It's a big open door, but then the room is very dark. So I like to place the subject. I don't have any other lighting, so I just place the subject near the door, but then it's like a cloudy day. So you have another kind of window light, door. Okay, so another kind of under the natural lighting is also side light. You can call it field light. You have the main source of a light, but then also when the light is coming from the side, right? The light coming from the side is a side light. And so sometimes we call it also field light. Filling the gap, right? Filling the light. And if you understand in this kind of natural light settings, later it will be easier when you're using artificial light, trying to control, because it's using the same principle, but just a different setting, right? And this is, I place a girl next to the window, is only on the side, but the room is dark. So by rotating your models, this might not be the best scenario because the light is so much from this side. So if you have a tighter space, smaller source of light, right? And you rotate your subject and the light will also shift, will filling more of the space. So you get a control how you want your model to be seen and what kind of story you're trying, a message you're trying to tell. And then this is also, so the lights start changing. This is like the brighter lights, and by placing, you continue to turn your models and you change the angle of your camera, you can see more of the room. So you have more control of the scene, how you want to be seen, the lighting wants to be seen. Okay, we have the third light is backlight. So which is the light source coming from the back direction of your subject. Another word we can also use is silhouette, meaning like the shade.
Yeah.
Silhouette. So here's another backlighting situation where you have, bright like sun, but lit up from the back. But then different times of the day, you have shadows at the front, right? So this is another like backlighting situation. You can either add the light in front or you can use like a reflector, but we're going to that a bit later. Okay, so my question is the quality of light. There are lights everywhere, but what is a good quality of light? So from what we have just learned before, I need a model here who will be volunteered. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll be a model. Come. Okay. So when you're trying to identify the lights in a place, right? We're trying to find the resources. And right now, can you tell me where are the lights resource shining through the space? This side?
This direction.
Okay, this direction. What else?
Also, this reflection.
Bouncing a little bit like the white walls. So the main source of the light is coming from here, right? Oh, and you also see this like beautiful, turn this way a little bit. And there's a beautiful, like a Rembrandt light here. It's a little triangle on her cheek right here. Rembrandt is a painter. He was the one that introduced this triangle shadow on the portrait by drawing. And so they use in film, in portraits, in photography a lot. It's like specific type of lighting. Okay, so when we go into like a location, you want to identify what is the quality of light. You definitely don't want to place her in like a corner, dark corner. So you want to identify, okay, what is my main source of light? And the way how you do it, you can like have her, can you come over here? Just simply you rotate her and see, okay. Do you see the difference? The light on her face?
Yes,
Yeah.
this on her face.
Mm. And you want to identify, okay, what makes her skin looks most flattering?
Getting the light in the right direction. Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's another element. Is also you can identify the time of the day. So during the morning, do you remember there's so much like golden light, right? There's I think around 9 o'clock. The classroom is more warmer tone. And in the midday, the sun direction is changing, is more shadow because the sun is up there. We don't get lights from here. But in the morning, you have this large amount of light coming into the room. You have this beautiful like shadows, and you can create a lot of like quite artistic scene in that. And so the day of the time of the day, that also counts. You can you can think of like, oh, what the room looks like, where how does that light make the model the skin looks beautiful or flattering. And this is also something you can take into the consideration. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for my wonderful model. I was gonna do yeah. Okay. So you wanted to look for the source of the light. You always looking for, okay, I can find the light from the window. I can also find the lights on the door because the window is shining through there, right? So you're looking for the source of lighting and the amount, how bright the light in that situation, how dark in that situation. It doesn't mean all the dark is bad, but just depends on the mood I'm trying to create right here. But I think our goal first is how can we create an image that is well exposed, meaning the right brightening of, is it 1 o'clock? No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think this is like a good pause from here because the afternoon, yeah, we will be learning aperture, the trinity of those 3 things. We can take a pause here. So in the afternoon, we will be learning the aperture, shutter speed, ISO, some of the technique stuff for about an hour. We're gonna add just 1 hour class to finish for our day.